Welcome back to LEGO Battlebots Season 3. Today we'll be looking at Quadrants 1 and 4 of the bracket, the left side of the round of 32. Our first fight of the episode will be between the number 5 seed Mannerheim and the 28 seed Duck. Mannerheim and Duck, a rematch from earlier in this season. Mannerheim was able to take the win in that fight, creating easily, and eventually went to 3-1. They nearly went 4-0, but were stopped by Siege Engine. Meanwhile, Duck had to win a planned match here, which they did pretty handily against Gruff. I think it's a rematch, so it's going to be very similar to what happened last time, I would imagine. It's going to come down to who gets underneath. Mannerheim can get underneath, and they can pretty easily take advantage of the relatively fragile lifter of Duck and break it off, and then just have to wait from there, but Duck gets underneath. I'm sure Mannerheim can self-right, but there's a chance that they could get them in the pit or something. But there's a reason Mannerheim's the 5 seed and Duck's the 28. But let's see if Duck can pull off the upset this time around down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Mannerheim immediately getting underneath Duck, landing a big flip early on, but Duck is tough. It's going to take several flips in order for Mannerheim to really try and get that lifter off. But they are landed several, and Duck has been unable to get underneath so far, and it looks like the beak may already be bent up. And of course, Duck will have to escape in order to test that theory. But Mannerheim is... Oh, there goes the beak entirely. Yeah, Mannerheim completely in control of this fight. Dominator trying to get Duck into the screws now. Now slamming Duck into the corner. What a flip! Nearly out of camera range. There goes the rest of the plow. And there goes Duck out of the arena. Just like last time, Mannerheim completely dominates Duck, just flinging them all around the arena. Duck just did not stand a chance in this fight at all. Flip after flip, they held up, but they held up well to the shots as they have done previously, but eventually either beak and rest of their plow came off, which reduced their way enough for Mannerheim to get the easy out of the arena and advance to the round of 16 for the second time in a row. With that win, Mannerheim advances to the round of 16 and is already on the route to another deep tournament run. Next, we shall see the two closest seeds in the tournament, Cherry Blossom and Switchback, collide. The 16 seed Cherry Blossom, despite that kind of unfortunate loss to Blip, has been absolute demolitionist this season, going 3-1, annihilating its last 3 opponents. And it stands against one of the tougher and more durable bots in the field now, a Switchback. I mean, it's taken down some tough bots before, but it's going to be interesting to see how they fare against Switchback, who is basically just big wedges on both front and back, and also has a powerful weapon to complement. The ground game might not be a huge factor here, as neither bot really relies on it in order to fulfill their strategies, though it is helpful occasionally. The Cherry Blossom's weapon is also not the most reliable. We've seen it take damage before, so we'll see if the Switchback is able to outlast them, or if Cherry Blossom can find a way to rip Switchback apart. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spinning up. Oh my goodness, what a shot by Cherry Blossom, throwing Switchback in the screws, but Switchback counterattacks with a shot of their own. Wow, so much kinetic energy in these weapons, especially in Cherry Blossom, as they send Switchback spinning again. Oh, but there goes a piece of Cherry Blossom's weapon already. I don't think Switchback's weapon is working too well either, though. There goes another piece off of Cherry Blossom. Both bots' weapons either down or compromised, and this fight is gotten a lot more interesting. Switchback going spinning again, but they are absolutely eating the shots here. Besides that drum, there's no real sign of damage to the chassis itself, at least at the moment, which is very good for them. They can try to keep outlasting that one, but oh no! There was damage all along, and the lifter and spinner has come off. And now Cherry Blossom has put Switchback on its side using those forks. The countdown has started, and this fight is over.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
That was a brutal shot to kick things off. Even the half speed to see how forceful that was. And Cherry Blossom, despite taking damage to his own weapon, also was able to cripple Switchback's weapon, which gave it a huge edge. While Cherry Blossom's weapon was damaged, it was still active, while Switchback's was not. And eventually, even with the imbalance, the hits took their toll on Switchback a lot more than they did Cherry Blossom. And eventually, the whole arm drum assembly just snapped off, and Cherry Blossom was able to use its forks to flip the now uninvertible chassis of Switchback upside down, giving the rookie its first tournament win and a spot in the round of 16, while Switchback is eliminated in the first round for the second season in a row. Cherry Blossom advances to the round of 16 with a violent win, and they will probably be taking on the #1 overall seed Whiplash in the next round, and should that fight indeed happen, that is going to be a huge fight. But now we move back towards the bottom left. We now will see two of the more bizarre bots in the competition take each other on, as the 13 seed Kraken faces the 20 seed Huge. Kraken and Huge is a truly interesting match, as both bots have the ability to take each other out, but we really don't know what's going to happen. Kraken could grab around to the chassis of Huge and then put the screws over the wall. Well, Huge's weapon, while not the most powerful in the field by a long shot, certainly has enough oomph to deliver a knockout to Kraken, who is not the most durable or reliable bot in the competition. But it's just a very odd match, like nothing like we've really ever seen before. So let's see how it goes down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Huge spins up, goes right into Kraken's face, rips 2 teeth off. And now Kraken tried to get them the screws. It did not work at all. And there goes an eye of Huge now. Some really cosmetic damage to both bots here. Neither bot really getting an upper hand, but Huge now trying to topple Kraken over. Looks like they have in fact done it. And now attacking the bottom of Kraken, now going for the side of that wedge, ripping it off in a single strike. That was a surprisingly quick knockout that Huge will take and advance to the round of 16 for the first time in his career.
4, 3, 2, 1, knockout.
Well, both bots went right at each other. Huge spinning up their blade and doing some damage, ripping both teeth off of Kraken in the first shot. And I guess they must have caused a little bit of residual damage to that wedge, possibly, because they were able to get Kraken pinned the corner and upside down, where they ripped the wedge off in a single shot. And I didn't know they had the power to do that in a single blow, but they did, and now they're in round 16. Huge advances to the round of 16 for the first time in their career, where they will take on another non-spinner, who we shall see later on in the episode. We will now see the defending champion, the 25 seed Sawblaze, begin its title defense against the #8 seed Eye of the Storm. This match can be influenced by a lot of different precedents. I mean, the #8 seed has never made the championship rounds. The last time a defending champion entered the ring for the tournaments, they got knocked out by Whiplash, and that was Bite Force back in Season 2. But honestly, you're probably looking at design here rather than everything. And Sawblaze has taken on a full-body spinner in the past. They have taken on Nemesis, and when they fought, Sawblaze dominated that fight. I mean, completely dominated. Nemesis was only able to get a couple of shots in, and those really did not do much to Sawblaze. So really, what's Eye of the Storm gonna do? I mean, I don't see much of a chance for Eye of the Storm in this one. I mean, Sawblaze may be the lower seed, but they're just, I'd say that Eye of the Storm is really the underdog here. But regardless of what happens, Sawblaze has already had a better title defense than Bite Force. If you recall, Bite Force went 2-2 in the regular season in Season 2, made it to the tournament, and then immediately lost to Whiplash. Sawblaze is currently 3-2, so if they lose, they'll have a tied 3-3 record, which is better than Bite Force's 2-3 record in Season 2. So that's neat, but they're obviously looking to win this fight, so let's see if they do down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Sawblaze already on the box rush, throwing Eye of the Storm off balance there before going in on the attack. Kraken out gang, trying to get the number 8 seed in the screws. They flip them over and try to get them in the pit, but that might be enough as Eye of the Storm upside down and now stuck between the pits and the screw mountain. We've seen boss get stuck there before, and Eye of the Storm cannot escape, can't even move that self-rider, and this fight is over.
1 knockout.
Well, that went much better for Sawblaze than Bite Force's tournament defense. I mean, Sawblaze is aggressive right off the bat, looking to end this fight early, and boy did they. Complete control, taking advantage of every opportunity they had, which was not a lot, but there were not a lot of hits in this fight. We got Eye of the Storm controlled, flipped them over, and then got them stuck between the pit wall and the mount for the screws, and with that, advanced to the round of 16 for the second season in a row. Sawblaze showing Bite Force how a title defense is done with a complete annihilation of Eye of the Storm. They will take on a very interesting fight, Copperhead or Snowfall in the round of 16. We'll see that fight at the end of the episode. Kicking off the second half of this episode, two powerful spinners clash in Monochrome and Reticle. The number 12 seed Monochrome and the 21 seed Reticle, two of the most powerful spinners in the field. Both bots have had weaknesses that have prevented them from having too much success in the past. Though that can be argued that's not quite as much for Monochrome. I mean, last season they held their own against Nemesis, and Nemesis had to really alter its strategy in order to win that fight, and they just barely won it, while Reticle 6-6. I mean, they've taken some L before. I mean, Monochrome also took a big L this season, getting ripped apart by Bloodsport, but Reticle doesn't have that kind of sheer weapon power or delivery, and Monochrome is still a very tough bot with a very powerful weapon. So I'd say give the advantage to Monochrome to try and box Reticle in and then flip it over, but Reticle does certainly have enough weapon power to take out Monochrome. It's just going to have to work very hard for it. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spin out the weapons, and oh, Monochrome lands the first blow. Or they get spun around, but now they have control of Reticle, trying to get them out of the arena in the screws, and they do. Monochrome going right on the attack in this one, trying to emulate Sawblaze, and it worked perfectly. They deflected Reticle's attacks, got them controlled, got them in the screws, but this time got them out of the arena. We now have our first round of 16 match for the left side of the bracket set, and it's an epic one between the 5 seed Mannerheim and the 12 seed Monochrome. Next up, we see the number 1 overall seed Whiplash begin its tournament run against the 32 seed Deadlift. number 1 seed, well-deserved and given to Whiplash, who is in their 3rd tournament appearance. They went from a 31 seed to 6 seed to now the top seed in the entire bracket, and Deadlift went from not making the tournament to not making the tournament to the 32 seed, which is still an improvement. However, this is Whiplash we're talking about, so Deadlift is probably not going to last very long. Let's see if that is indeed the case, or if Deadlift can pull off a miracle down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Whiplash immediately getting underneath Deadlift as expected, trying to get them into screws, trying to either get them in a bad position or just break their chassis, which is very possible for Deadlift, but they're unable to do that, so they just spin them back up, but get them right back in their jaws again. Whiplash taking complete control of this fight as expected, and Deadlift completely at their mercy, which is not the lowest amount in the field, but certainly not the most, and now Deadlift is on the arena wall. Whiplash turning around and just depositing them out of the arena. As expected, that was a dominant performance by the number 1 seed. They did not break a sweat. They were even willing to give up their hold on an opponent on Deadlift. Not really common sight for control bots, but they did that so they could get a better chance, a better angle, and they were eventually able to use that to get Deadlift on the wall and then out of the arena. The number 1 seed advances to the round of 16 for the 3rd consecutive season. Another epic clash is brewing in the round of 16 as the number 1 overall seed Whiplash takes on a bot very similar to the one that nearly took it down in Season 2's quarterfinals, the 16 seed Cherry Blossom. We now see the number 4 overall seed Orbital Fire take on the 29 seed Hammerhead. After an abysmal Season 2, Orbital Fire is back in the top 4, this time taking the luckier number 4 seed. 4 seed has made the championship in both Season 1 and Season 2, and last season it made the semifinals, which could mean good things for Orbital Fire. It also may not. Their first opponent, the 29 seed Hammerhead, is gonna try and prove them wrong. They're obviously gonna try and take them out, because they are a very aggressive model with a very powerful hammer, but they don't have the ground game. And Orbital Fire is just not built in a way that favors hammers like Hammerhead. Orbital Fire certainly has the flipper power to throw Hammerhead all out of the arena, so I'm gonna see how long it takes to do that, or if Hammerhead can find a way to turn the tide down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Hammerhead fires his weapon, gets flipped, and Orbital Fire taking advantage, landing a massive flip. They're out, getting them out of the arena. Well, Hammerhead fired its weapon once, Orbital Fire took advantage and just sent them flying out of the arena. Perfect performance by the number 4 seed. Orbital Fire has made it the farthest it ever has in the tournament, now in the round of 16, where it faces a fascinating match against the 20 seed Huge. We will now see our final match of the round of 32, as the 9 seed and prime Copperhead faces the 24 seed Desperado tournament winner Snowfall. After the loss in its first fight to Eye of the Storm, Copperhead has been on a rampage, dominating its next 3 matches to claim the number 9 overall seed. While Snowfall started out abysmally at 0-2, it was able to bounce back, taking down the defending champion, the Season 1 champion, Bite Force, in the semifinals of the Desperado tournament, as well as 2 other bots in order to win it all and gain the first tournament spot of the season. Both bots absolutely have the capability to defeat the other. Copperhead is not invincible, Well, despite its heavily upgraded frame, while Snowfall is vulnerable to in the ground game, which Copperhead is very strong at, to very opposing styles of machines. We've got Copperhead more of a bulky attacker and Snowfall more of a fragile flipper. But let's see who wins this final clash of the round of 32 down the arena. Let the final battle of the round of 32 begin. Copperhead getting underneath Snowfall and launching them into the air there, and getting underneath again. And again, Copperhead winning the ground game here and constantly pushing Snowfall back. But Snowfall, just getting completely dominated so far. Several times in a row, but Snowfall gets underneath, flips Copperhead over. They have an opportunity now to turn this fight around, and they send Copperhead flying, getting them in screws and nearly getting them out of the arena, but that costs them the fight as they break apart. A last-ditch flip to win the fight ends with Snowfall facing the same fate as Copperhead has so many times. Well, it's ironic to see a Copperhead not be bought with reliability issues in the fight, and they were performing incredibly well. They were dominant here against Snowfall, getting it underneath in the early stages, but eventually they somehow got stuck on Snowfall's flipper. That allowed the Desperado winner to try and turn the fight around, but as you can see, their frame was already ravaged by that drum thriller, which is a lot more powerful than we thought it was degraded to with the downgraded weapon. But Snowfall was able to land some flips and nearly got them out of the arena, but Copperhead stayed in, and since Snowfall broke apart, the 9 seed took the victory. Copperhead will round out the round of 16 as they take down the Desperado winner, Snowfall. And they are now set up for a match against the defending champion and lowest seed left standing in the tournament, the 25 seed Sawblaze. And with that, the round of 16 is set. The number 1 seed Whiplash faces the 16 seed Cherry Blossom in a mirror match from when Whiplash fought the 3 seed Bloodsport in last season's championship. The 25 seed lowest seed left in the tournament, and also conveniently defending champion Sawblaze takes on the 9 seed Copperhead, who is certainly in their prime at this point. 4 seed Orbital Fire bouncing back from their failures in Season 2, taking on the 20 seed Huge, who could be a dark horse for this tournament, and the 5 seed Mannerheim takes on the 12 seed Monochrome in a clash of 2 of the strongest custom bots in the field. And we could see some incredible matches heading into the championship round. One that I'm looking at especially, we could see a Whiplash Sawblaze rematch, a rematch of last season's final in the quarterfinals. That's it from Ballistics Test Robotics this time. See you next time as the round of 16 begins and concludes.